Hello, welcome to my channel. This is a video that I don't think I'm gonna keep up for very long, but I've had a lot of cool comments about my wedding, and so I've had some questions and I thought I would just film a little YouTube video just to like put it all together, because I don't know, answering on Instagram stories felt a bit, I don't know, there was no connection. If I'm shaking, I've just had too much coffee today, so that's why. I'm not nervous, but the way I'm so like, yeah, so myself and my husband, I can say that now, I've got a husband. We got married last Monday, and it was the best day ever. Everyone had a really, really good day, and it was the most chilled out wedding I've ever been to. And there were a lot of reasons for that, so I thought I would just answer some questions and talk about some comments I've had. We had a really low-key, super chilled out day. We didn't actually plan the day, we just knew that we wanted to get married, and that genuinely was it. We just wanted to sign the papers and like, okay, let's go live our lives. But the first question is, what made you want a small day? And despite Faisal being in a band and a Leo, is he a Leo rising or a Leo moon? He's a Leo rising. And despite me being an actor, we actually didn't want the fuss and we didn't want the attention. That's why I found it awkward when people have asked me, what do you want as your wedding present? It's kind of like, we just didn't want it. We didn't want, I don't know, we didn't want the whole like, look at us. We just wanted to like go off and get married. We initially weren't gonna have anyone there. Not because we didn't want anyone there, just because we just wanted to literally go in and sign the papers and that be it, which essentially is what we did. I didn't want to think about inviting tons of people and thinking about them having to book time off work, saving money for hotels, transport, accommodation, all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to put that pressure on people. And also I didn't care for it. Like, it's just, maybe years ago that's what I would have wanted, but right now I didn't, you know, we didn't get married to have a big day. We got married because we just want to celebrate our love and make that commitment. The big thing, like, right, I'm a speed walker, so the thought of walking down an aisle that slowly gives me the ick. I can't walk that slowly. I always look like I'm in a rush. It's why my calves are huge. I get to where I need to be quick. And if you know me and Faisal, just thought of him standing there and waiting for me to walk down really slowly, like, I don't know, like, oh, I can't walk that slow. And having everyone stare at me and me walking down like this. It's just not me. I feel very lucky to come from two pretty laid back families anyway. I had a lot of people who said that they are introverted and just the thought of having all the eyes on them would be too much, which I could see why, because that's quite an overwhelming thing. And also, we're not really traditional, we're not formal people, so having that would just not be us, and I just don't personally believe in conforming to something that doesn't sit right with me or make me feel comfortable, and none of our families would want us to do something just for the sake of, I don't know, pleasing someone else. Like, it's not for me. I just wanted to say that I guess it's easy for me to say because I do come from a non-traditional, non-religious laid-back family, in the sense that I can just do what I want and that's fine. I just don't want people to feel the pressure like they need to have this big day, they need to have a church wedding or whatever. We booked the cheapest room and there was only room for 4 people in there. It was literally just like two chairs, 2 little sofas, and the registrars like doing their thing. We were in and out in about, well, the video my mum recorded is less than 5 minutes long. Even though Faisal and I can be quite big characters, we didn't want that. It would have given us the ick. The next question is, so were you engaged? No, we weren't. There was no proposal, there was no engagement. I think because we knew we just wanted to marry each other, so there was no real need for him to get down on one knee. I guess it's like a lovely gesture, but personally, again, we're just not asked, we're not bothered. Like, I want to marry you, you want to marry me, let's go. We're quite impulsive people, so we just booked it online. We just literally booked it. Like, someone was like, oh, we regret it. Will you regret that there was no engagement, like he didn't get down on one knee? No, neither of us are like that, and I don't think that people should feel like they have to be engaged and have a proposal if they're not bothered. Like, don't feel like you need to do these traditional things just because everyone else does. Half the time I think people aren't bothered and they literally do it just to put a post on Instagram, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, you don't need that if you don't want it. If you want it, great, like, go for it, but don't feel like you need to do it. Like, if you're surprising your partner with a proposal, yeah, fair enough. If you're both having a conversation like me and Faisal did regularly, just sat there like, should we get married? It literally, we were just sat in bed, we were like, should we just book it? Because we've talked about it for ages. I think I've known from very early on in our relationship that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. It was the easiest thing I've ever had to do in my life. Easiest thing. We haven't even been together 2 years, so I guess we're just very lucky. How did you know that each other was the one? Well, Faisal can't answer this because he's literally touring America, but as his rock star wife, sorry, this is so cringe. As his rock star wife, I will answer the question. It's very hard to put into words, but I guess the main thing is he makes me feel so safe, so incredibly safe, yet so free at the same time. And I've never really had that. I know I can go off and do whatever I want when I want, and he's very encouraging of that. But yeah, when I'm with him, I don't worry about anything. I feel so safe, and I know he's like, because I'm a Cancer, I'm a crab. He's like my shell. He protects me, but like, if I want to go out and do whatever I want, I can. Like, do you know what I mean? It's very rare to find someone who does both, and it's incredible. I'm just like, wait, I can go and, like, if an acting job comes in and it's a year contract somewhere where I won't ever see him, he would be the first to be like, go and get that job, go and do it, and vice versa. I've always felt like my partner's like cheerleader, and knowing that he is my cheerleader is just like, wait, you support me just as much as what? Like, he's telling me to go and do stuff. Like, what? The next biggest thing is the fact that he isn't insecure at all. He's so secure in himself and in our relationship that I've never seen that. And I think it's really cool. Like, for instance, I'm pretty confident, and he like loves that. I think that's one of the first compliments he gave me, was like, I love how confident you are. I love your confidence. And he doesn't feel insecure about that. And that's so cool. And, you know, with other things like some of my work and stuff, he champions it. He's like, yes, let's go. Also, he's the most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life. I've never properly really fancied anyone like that, and I can't, like, I look at him and I'm like, how? And also, he's a Scorpio and I'm a Cancer, so in that regard it's perfect. Like, we're both like that. Like, we don't leave each other alone. I remember a couple of months before we met, I am very big into the law of attraction and manifesting, and I literally wrote down about 20 or 21 points of my next partner, and if they didn't meet every single one, then I wasn't going to go there. I wasn't going to sacrifice anything for my next partner. And I learned that from my best friend Joy. She's so like, if you don't tick every box, no. And before I've been like, yeah, or whatever, but yeah, no, this one was like and he ticked every box. And he actually manifested me, which is insane. He literally manifested me. Like, he spoke to his bandmate Eric about what he wanted, and then literally, like, physically and stuff, and I was just like, hello, do you want a wine? Next one is, tell me about your outfit. So again, I've never wanted a big wedding dress, big gown. I've never wanted one. I would feel like I was playing a role if I put one on, if that makes sense. I don't feel comfortable in this grand thing, unless it's an acting job or whatever. But personally, I don't know. It just wasn't for me. I knew I just wanted a plain thing. In my head, I've always imagined myself in just a plain, like, vintage slip dress. And I was on Bold Street in Liverpool, and I found one for about 16 quid in Pop Boutique, and it's just plain. Yeah, just plain, just straight up and down. That's all I wanted. 16 quid. The blazer I wore, the black velvet blazer, is one that I think Faisal and I got, I think, the year before. Again, that was about 20 quid, which is expensive for a blazer for me, because all of our blazers cost about 3 quid. We literally have a clothes rail of blazers. My shoes were £13, little mules, and I don't know, I got it in my head, I was like, when I found that 16 quid dress, I was like, how cheap can I make this? My flowers are just fake off the internet. I've just got them just chilling. Hello. I love secondhand and vintage stuff, so the thought of me wearing a brand new wedding dress just didn't really sit right with me, and I would have felt like I was playing a part. Faisal's suit was new, because I have said I think all men should have a full-on suit, so his suit was new, but he just wore Docs, and I think they were gifted to him anyway, because the band get free shoes. Faisal plays in suits, like loads are the smartest band you'll see on stage. He plays in suits. So it only felt right that he actually just bought a new one for the wedding. Why didn't you have a photographer? Again, this is just personal taste. Sorry, I'm just gonna have to have a sip of my brew. These are the Twinings teas. Focus. Yeah, this is one we thought about. Tarts interlude. Hello. So cute. Yeah, it's just personal preference. We don't like wedding photography. When I was on Pinterest getting inspo for the wedding and outfits and stuff, I really loved the 50s, 60s black and white photography where it just looks like a papa stood outside the registration office and the couple are just walking down, like some of the Beatles weddings and stuff, where it's not staged, it's just caught off guard. And I don't know, again, if you know Faisal and I, can you really imagine us posing? No, I can't. I didn't want to pay thousands of pounds for photos that I wasn't that bothered about. We were toyed as well, because we know a lot of music photographers, there's so many and they're amazing. We were just going to hire one of them, but then we were like, we probably don't even need that. Pete, our housemate, has got a good eye and he took amazing photos. My cousin Casey did. Everyone that was there either had a camera or they had a phone, and we knew that people would take photos anyway, so we were just like, yeah, go on. And also because we hadn't hired this great big hall or whatever, we were kind of we weren't bothered. I had my granddad's vintage Minolta camera that we put film in and just gave it to people. I also bought, I've got them here, 2 disposable cameras. These Ilford black and white ones are amazing. I took one to Egypt and the photos came out amazing. We just gave these to people to take, and so I don't know, but the way the photos turned out is exactly what I wanted. Just genuine, not staged, not forced, not the composition isn't perfect, you know what I mean, because it's not photographers taking the photos. I just love that. I think, I don't know, it would have felt staged forking out for a photographer that I just wasn't bothered about, and neither was Faisal. But yeah, again as well, if you have people in your family that you know are good at taking photos, get a film camera, get some disposables, give them to people, and then it's also the surprise of not knowing what the photos are going to look like until they come back. And also people have their phones and phone cameras are good. Again, it's personal preference, but we weren't bothered. Did I get my hair and makeup done? No. Again, for another reason of I just couldn't be bothered. I just again, I know makeup artists and they're very good. I've worked with loads of them. I just wasn't bothered. I think part of it is because as an actor and when I model, I get my makeup and hair done professionally anyway. So for the novelty aspect, I didn't want that. I didn't need it. And also, I want to look back on the wedding photos and look like me. That's not to say, obviously, makeup artists make you not look like you, but I don't know, I kind of did my everyday makeup when I wear makeup and just had my eyelashes done. I got Russian lashes because I wanted quite dramatic eyelashes, but the rest of the makeup was just, I don't know. I look like me. I really look like me in the photos, and that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to look like a version of me. And also Faisal was marrying me, so I just wanted to look like me. Hair wise, yeah, I blow dried it and curled it and had it half up, half down, which is something I don't really do, but I thought it was cute. If I'm being honest, I did not know how my hair and makeup was going to look like until I woke up at 6 a.m. and started doing it on that day. It's laid back. Again, that's another thing. If you don't want to, don't hire a makeup artist just because I don't know, one of your bridesmaids or your mum is like, oh, we're gonna get our hair and makeup done. If you don't want that, don't. And then if they want that, they can just get it themselves. That's just, again, that's personal preference. Just don't, I hate the thought of knowing that so many people make decisions on their wedding based of what is expected of them or what their mum wants or what the mother-in-law wants. Again, I just want to preface that my family and my in-laws are the best. I'm so lucky, I know that. Are you going on a honeymoon? We've been. We went to Egypt and it was amazing. It was a gift from our family. The wedding present from our parents was to go to Egypt, and it was the best week ever. I've never been that far. I've never been lucky enough to go outside of Europe. So that was the furthest I've been. So for me, it was very overwhelming. I was like crying, like, if you grow up very working class, you know, getting on a plane, like getting out of Europe is like a massive deal. So that was cool. But yeah, we'd gone because Faisal's gone to tour America, so there would have been no time after the wedding and before he flew to America to actually go on a honeymoon. So we already went. How did you decide who to invite? We didn't think of it as an invite because we didn't actually invite anyone. There were no invites. Again, I couldn't be bothered with the cost. Also, I wasn't asked. Initially, like I said, it was just going to be us two signing the papers. But then when we told our immediate family, like the family we speak to every day, they were so excited and we were like, oh yeah, we may as well make like a day of it. So our parents obviously came, my stepdad, my sisters, and like immediate best friends. And the band obviously, they were going to be there. And then we had like a few people as well, like come. But yeah, again, this is another reason why I didn't want to plan a big wedding, because where does it cut off? Like, where do you stop? Like our wedding day, as low key as it was, went from literally us two to like 27 people. And even then we were like, how did it get like that? But yeah, again, all these things like give me the ick, give me the fear, because we both know so many people collectively, we both know people separately. If we were to invite everyone we wanted, it would have been hundreds. When I got my eyelashes done and they asked how much a wedding cost, and like the whole like legal thing, everything was like less than 200 quid. They were like, what? My best friend spent 35 grand and that wasn't even cutting corners. And I'm like, what? But yeah, the thought of, this is no disrespect, but the thought of paying for food for people I don't even really speak to ever, it was like, this is a weird concept for me. And also the politics of inviting people. There would be people that we'd invite to the night do that would be sad, low-key, that they weren't invited to the day do, and I couldn't be bothered with any of that, because it's not a personal thing. But obviously, like, you know, you've probably been in a situation yourself where you've been invited to a night do, not the day do, and think, why? Thankfully, I've never felt that, because I don't care enough, in the nicest way. I just want people to be happy. You know what I mean? Sending invites, that's expensive. It's so expensive. Even if you like do it via email, you've got to get everyone's email. Oh God, I just don't care enough. I can't be arsed. I'm not getting married to spend 50, 60, 70, 80 quid on invites. Like, no. Also, it's the whole seating plan thing of choosing who sits where, who's on the head table, because someone's going to be sad that they can't fit on the head table. Do you know what I mean? Also, it's the fact that, you can't sit that person with that person because they don't get along. And it's like, oh my gosh, can you be bothered? I've seen the stress that causes people. And I think, it's your wedding day. You're getting married. It should not be a thing. And then it's also, do you invite the kids? If you're inviting people that have kids, but like, obviously kids can be a nightmare, but then will they get offended? Because they're like, I'm going to have to find a babysitter. Oh my gosh. No, just want to celebrate my love with my partner. That's it. And the people that love you should only want you to do that as well. It should not be about them. We are going to have a massive party, I think in Cardiff, like early next year. So we're going to hire out a great big hall and then have all our family and friends. And again, because that won't be a full day, I'm very conscious of how people struggle to get time off work, or they're introverted, or they have social anxiety, or they have anxiety, or they have depression. And I would never want people to feel like they had to be somewhere or be somewhere for a certain amount of time. I wouldn't mind if someone rang on the day and was like, do you know what, I'm not feeling it, I just want to go and sit in bed and do nothing. I'd be like, you do you, boo, you do you. Yeah, we want to hire a big hall, get like loads of food, have loads of Arab food, and just have a nice time, and people can come and go as they please. What ceremony did you choose? The one that took the least amount of time, that was the cheapest, because again, we just wanted to go in and sign the paper, like the legal bit. That's all we wanted to do. There, I didn't know, because you're like, it's like select, so you go online, well for us, we go online, then you choose the vows you want, you know, the in sickness and in health, for better or for worse, like you choose to say that. Because I was panicking thinking, oh my gosh, I won't be able to remember it, even though I'm gonna have to, like, learning lines for me is a struggle. Also, like, that's cringe, for me that's cringe, like to do that in front of people, no, like, no, I couldn't. So I think we just chose like the 3 legal things you had to say, like, I don't know any reason why I shouldn't marry you, or the I can't remember what they are now, because like you didn't need to learn them, you just repeated them. We didn't exchange rings because we just couldn't be bothered. Faisal had been wearing his ring for about a month, We went and bought it. He put it on straight away. He was like, I just feel like a husband. So we didn't exchange rings. We'd already done it. We basically chose the most simple thing with the smallest room. The only people we had there were our witnesses, which were our fathers, and then our mothers were there as well. And we basically went in, said the vows, kissed, and that was it. Who were your bridesmaids and best men? Well, we didn't have any because we didn't have a need for them. That sounds awful, doesn't it? I guess everyone that was there was kind of groomsmen, bridesmaids. Yeah, again, I wouldn't necessarily know who to pick, and I wouldn't want to offend anyone, and also we didn't care enough. In all honesty, if you don't need them, then why bother? If you've got everyone you love there, then I don't know. My motto is, if you don't care, don't do it. That can't be applied to everything in life, but in this instance it can. What happened on the day and how did it all turn out? So I knew that I was going to need a brew after I came out of signing the paper because it was a big event. So what happened on the day? Well, we booked it for 10:30 because I think that was the only slot. I think they had 9 AM or 10:30 or 1 PM. I don't know why we just chose the middle one. I don't know. It happened on Halloween, not just because we're raging goths, but because I think that was the only day available. So Faisal was meant to be on a tour, but that cancelled. So I think initially he was going to be like in between Europe or the UK. So the only date he was free to travel to do it was Halloween. We didn't choose Halloween to be Halloween spooky season, even though I've got literally this and that there. It just so happened that that was the only day we could get it done. And I don't know, if I had the wedding at 1, I would have been too late because I would have been too excited. And also my bedtime's 9 PM, so can you be bothered? No. Yeah. So it happened at 10:30. Basically all our family pretty much came the night before, and the family, like not friends or anyone, but our actual like family met on the Sunday night for the very first time. We went out to Sanskriti, which is mine and Faisal's now favourite place to go to food. They do vegan mango lassi. It's just incredible. Like, it's incredible. Yeah, so we booked that for the day. I was working the day before the wedding. Like, I just don't care. I was doing shifts. I was working. But yeah, the family travelled up on the Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. We went for a meal. It was really nice. Family's got like a house on fire again. Faisal and I are extremely lucky to have such amazing families. They just got on. They were chatting. Even the non-vegans loved the scran. It was just delicious. And then we went to the pub, and then some of our friends had travelled up, so we met them at the pub, had a few drinks, and then we went home to bed. Yeah, woke up on the day. Woke up at 6. Faisal went to the gym because it's Faisal. He brought me a Starbucks back. Loved that. I was too excited to eat, but I had my Starbucks. I hate myself. It's so cringe. Yeah, I got ready here. We got ready together. We slept here the night before. Again, why would I not want to see him the night before the wedding? Like, I love you. I don't want to spend any time apart from you. Yeah, then we arrived at where we were getting married, the registration office, which is that big, amazing St. George's Hall in Liverpool. It's just stunning. We all met. Everyone was there. We had a few photos. And then we went in. Well, no, everyone else, I think, stayed outside and just waited for us. Because, again, we only booked the little room because we didn't, just whatever. My sister went and grabbed me a Starbucks because she's a ledge. Went in and got married, signed the papers, came out. And the most amazing thing was we were walking out. And then all of a sudden, you just see everyone there go, "Wah!" like cheering, like it was so gorgeous. It was so amazing. And then I purposely didn't plan anything for the day because I didn't want any stress. The whole reason we booked that registration office wedding because I didn't want the stress of organising the day. So when my family were asking what was going on the day, I said I don't know, not planned anything. So we just didn't plan anything. And you know what? It still turned out to be the best day ever. So we all came out, we were like, what should we do? And then we were like, should we go for food? Yes, go for food. So we went to Bold Street because it's not far. We got to Bold Street and we went to one place that was closed. Bear in mind, there's like 27 of us. Walked up to Bakchish, which is a Lebanese restaurant, and we've been there before and know that it's stunning and there's vegan options. So I think Faisal or someone went to the guy who was working there and was like, have you got enough room for all of us? Just a bunch of us stood on Bold Street like, hey, and they did, and it was amazing. They like moved all the tables to fit us all in. The food was so nice. There was something for everyone. It was amazing. And then after that, some people had to go, and again, Faisal and I so laid back. There's no pressure for people to stay, so some people left. We said goodbye, and then we went to Spoons. It was the most laid back, easy, lovely day ever. And I know a lot of that has to do with the people that were there. Like our friends, family that were there are just so chilled and laid back. Faisal and I are chilled and laid back, and everyone I think clearly knows how in love we both are. So it was just like the most chilled out day ever. Also, it's cheap for people. We were just sat at a big table just chatting all day. Then after a while some people left, and then a bunch of us went back here to ours, and we ordered Domino's, had some chats, had some drinks. It was great. And then we were in bed before 10 p.m. I think that was the best part. We were in bed before 10 p.m. It was honestly because we started the day so early. It was so overwhelming, and we were still walking around and doing stuff. We all got really tired at like 9 o'clock, and we were like, yeah, it's bedtime. And then we were like, should you get breakfast in the morning? So again, a bunch of us got breakfast in the morning. It was our housemate Pete's birthday, so it was like perfect, so we could like kind of celebrate that as well. But yeah, the perk about having just a registry office wedding in a city centre is that we just went out and did things. Yeah, I know I'll look back on this day with such fond memories because there was no stress. Like in bed by 10 p.m. on your wedding night after scranning like loads of vegan Domino's. It was just, it was so good, like so good. It was very Faisal and I. We're not the kind of people to want some massive like do. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to answer a few questions. I would do it all over again. It was perfect. And again, I just want to stress that it's your day. It's your day. If you're getting married, it's your day. It's not your partner's, dad's, mum's. It's not their day. It's not your sister's day. It's not your best friend's day. It's not your cousin's day. They, in the grand scheme of things, don't matter. I know they do, but do you know what I mean? If you want a low, chilled, cheap day, you can do it. Again, our whole thing costs under 200 quid. My dress was 16 quid, you know? Yeah, I guess we just love each other and just wanted to have a nice day. And the cool thing about having such a low-key date is that we still have more celebrating to do because all our friends and family, like extended friends and family, still haven't celebrated with us. So that's the cool thing, that we can do that in the future as well. But yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know. Again, I think I'm going to delete this video after a few weeks because I don't know how I feel about like this Q&A being up forever. But yeah, if you got this far, thank you so much for watching. Again, yeah, message with any questions, and you do you. As long as you're not hurting anyone, go for it.